A buzzing metropolis, packed with people and buildings as far as the eye can see. It's no surprise that Tokyo is one of the most densely populated cities in the world. And many would agree, this city is just as packed with good food and shopping. Visitors who appreciate design also flock to Japan's capital to marvel at the vast range of unique architecture, including this eye-catching skyscraper. Standing tall at 204 meters, the 50-story Cocoon Tower is an iconic site in Tokyo's Shinjuku district. Now, from its modern exterior, many may assume that this skyscraper is a modern office building. However, it's actually an educational facility which is home to not just one, but 3 different schools, including a fashion school. Winner of the Empress Skyscraper Award in 2008, Cocoon Tower is the second tallest educational facility in the world. This innovative vertical campus was designed by renowned architect Paul Tange.
This building is already 10 years old, and this year we got an award for 50 most influential building built in last 50 years award. So at least it is recognition that we have redefined school architecture to a certain form, and that was accepted. That is important. It is not like we suggest this is the way you have to live, but that will be accepted by the user, which was very rewarding for us.
Congratulations again.
Thank you, thank you.
A bold reimagining of the school formed in cities with limited land is a reflection of one of Mr. Tange's core principles. Designed with people in mind, or what he calls adaptable architecture. And it seems one key to unlocking such adaptability is through dialogue with younger architects.
In our office, when we're doing the designing, it's not me giving all the instruction or senior people giving the instruction. We have a brainstorming session. Some of the buildings, idea came from very young architect. But once we have a concept, we, the experienced one, can make it better.
His belief in nurturing younger architects is why Mr. Tange is a regular speaker and judge with Asia Young Designer Awards, the region's largest student award for architecture and interior design. Currently present in 15 geographic locations, AYDA has seen over 30,000 submissions since 2008.
This Nippon Paint has been doing a wonderful job encouraging young people, and I'm very happy that they keep on inviting me back because I learn a lot from them, and young architect. And we would like to cultivate more young talent from all over Asia. That is a key, because we judge everybody in a pure sense, because certain countries more advanced than the other. We don't judge them, at least I don't judge them in the same standard, because it's not fair. But the idea is something that we are going to judge.
In 2015, Mr. Tange was one of the judges who gave a thumbs up to Reen Tan's idea of an eco-learning market centre. Reen imagined a solar-powered space built from recycled materials, where the public could learn about the sustainable living culture of a fishing village. This design ultimately won him the International Asia Young Designer of the Year award. Now into his 4th year as an architect, AYDA's organizers decided to give Reen a special surprise. Knowing that Reen regards Mr. Tange as a design inspiration, AYDA flew him from Kuala Lumpur to Tokyo for a learning trip, where he would get an exclusive tour of the iconic Cocoon Tower with Mr. Tange himself. Now that we're actually here at Cocoon Tower, Mr. Tange, would you do us the honor of taking us around to see your 3 favorite features?
But of course, let us start.
Fantastic. So Mr. Tange, you're about to show us your favorite feature,
Yes.
or one of the 3 favorites. So what's the first one?
The first one is actually the shape of the building. we don't design building just to give you only the shape. I mean, it has to be comprehensive idea. The shape came like this because, of course, we named it Cocoon Tower because a student is like cocoon. You know, we cherish them, nourish them, all this, and educate them, and then they go to the real world. At the same time, we give urbanistically open space on the ground.
Right.
Because by making it narrow on the bottom, you have more open space. And also, when you look on top, it's pointy, which means that you give back more sky compared to the square building. So it is much more logical in an urbanistic way, and at the same time, it actually represents the function itself.
Yeah.
And also, we have, of course, in a tall building like this in Japan, we have to have an emergency escape and a helipad. Originally, actually, this used to open three-way.
3 ways?
And this helipad was in the center. But in the course of designing, as you know, I think less movement, less moving piece is safer. So what we did is instead, it's only one opened up. And once a year, we do this testing by the regulation of the fire department. So, well, so far, 10 times it opened and closed.
I would assume that's also why most buildings in Shinjuku are rectangular, so
Yes.
that it's easier for helicopters to land.
Correct.
So
correct.
this wouldn't have been an easy task.
No, but we really believe that building should represent the function of the building. So it's a school. I mean, boring square-looking office-like would not work. So this is the reason that we have created this kind of form.
Reen, any questions for Mr. Tange?
Yeah, so after 10 years of building already built, is there anything you think that it can be improved better for the students? Or you think the students should have like more priority in terms of like space and usage?
Well, I think we are always talking to the client because this is, we are the architect, but the owner have all the right to say. And now actually this 50th floor will be renovated into a student lounge for all 3 schools. We have, later on we show you the schoolyard type of space, but that's for each school. But this one is going to be for all student
It's
use.
very exciting.
Yes.
And you get like a $1 billion view of Tokyo, not just a $1 million view.
That's right, that's right.
Beautiful. What's next? What's your second favorite feature?
Well, second feature maybe go to the actually the facade,
Sure.
because we talk about cocoon, and it's not only the shape, but even the facade treatment. We have this dotted line, which is irregularly placed, so it looks like a pattern of the cocoon. Mind you, this is actual structural form.
What is it made of?
This is steel.
Okay.
And actually it's exposed because our idea with the client is that students should learn how buildings are built. So instead of covering it, we just expose it. And then you can see all the welded position because that, again, we just want to show it didn't come in one piece. Right? And then, but this, it'll be much more regulated pattern because of course the structure has to be regulated.
Yes.
So besides from that, we want to have more irregular cocoon-like patterns. So that's how we place this dots. And
Are they stuck on inside or outside?
It
I'm
is
trying
outside.
to figure it out.
It is
Really?
outside.
It's not inside.
It is not inside. So you
Must
can
be
feel it.
They must be really resistant then.
Yes.
Gee.
Wow. It could be, we can say it's Japanese technology.
That's pretty impressive.
But we really have to talk to the manufacturer. Because if it's inside, it does not show up as much. Because there will be a glass in between.
Yep.
So this is...
This is impressive.
And 10 years has passed and it's still there.
Yeah.
Relatively in good condition.
And that's what we see from the outside, the
That's right.
web-like effect.
Yes, this and this, not only that.
Yeah. So you have the layering effect
That's
from
right.
far away.
That's
It's
right.
very interesting.
Thank you for that explanation, Mr. Tange.
Thank you.
Shall we move on to your final and favorite feature?
But of course,
Where are we?
we are in schoolyard.
Oh.
It's a 3-story atrium, but I would like to think of it as a schoolyard because usually the school is 3 to 4-story tall. And for our understanding, schoolyard is very important part of school architecture. Of course, this is 50-story tower, so we really have to reinvent the school feeling. So for us, this is actually a place that people can gather. Of course, in school, classrooms are very important, but that's the place where you have to act as teacher, teaching, student. And that's a very important part. But for us, more importantly, or equally important, is where people can gather and exchange idea between student, to teacher to student in a much more informal way. So this is 3-story schoolyard. We truncated a big schoolyard, so in 50 stories we distributed every floor 3 places, 3 stories in the entire building. And then also another thing is, of course, they have to have enough classroom.
Yeah.
This building, we have gotten extra 360% of the volume from what was allowed. It was GFA of 10, we got GFA of 13.6. To do that was not easy. You have to, as an architect, you know how difficult it is to get the extra volume, because everybody will ask, why you need that volume. So it's a connectivity on underground and above ground. The hall, it's an X-shaped hall downstairs. They're open to public, and various other public incentive that we have provided.
Mr. Tange, you mentioned earlier that the public is only able to access the egg-shaped
Yes.
auditorium, right? So for visitors to Tokyo who can't actually come to Cocoon Tower, unfortunately, where else would you recommend to them to visit when it comes to architecture and design?
For me, one of the most exciting places is Marunouchi and Ginza area. Its history has reinvented that area quite a bit. It was Omotesando area, it was Aoyama area, which was becoming more hip, etc., etc. But eventually it went back to Ginza. And also Marunouchi area, which was considered to be CBD only, but redevelopment of Tokyo train station to other buildings, more mixed use. So nowadays it's more active. So Ginza as a historical shopping area and newly created Marunouchi mixed-use development area. I think those are the areas that I would recommend highly.
Well, coming from you, I'm sure that is a good recommendation. Reen, final question before we wrap up this tour. Anything you would like to ask?
I really want important question to ask. As
Most
a young,
probably I don't have an answer to that.
I will try to ask in a proper way.
Yes.
Because like a young designer or architect like me, we can actually, I would say we can actually carry out and come out with a design and then trying to sell the design. The most challenging part for us, because we are young and then we don't have really much experience, what is your advice for us to actually market or sell our idea to the client or the developer?
I guess what I have to say is really a passion. You really have to believe what you are selling. Also, there are so many good architects in the world. Everybody is very talented. So how do you differentiate yourself? With your passion and also with your storytelling. You have to market your product And also another key point that I would rather not say, but just because you are becoming a fine architect, not architectural student anymore, I'll tell you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
you have to know what their interests are. It is not my idea that I'm selling. It is your idea, the client idea that I'm visualizing for them. Once you successfully explain that, you're home free.
I feel like I just witnessed a passing on of wisdom to a rising star in architecture. Thank you so much, Mr. Tange, for your time today.
No, pleasure.
I learned a lot. I'm
I
sure
learned
Reen did too.
too much. Thank you so much. Such a great job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Great to
you.
see you again.
Yes.
Great to see you.
Reen, now that we've been on a tour of Cocoon Tower, how are you feeling right now?
I really feel it's different and amazing because the architect itself, Mr. Paul Tange, able to design such a building for the people itself. He actually created the atrium space and common area for the user, which is the student, where normally the school that created by designer, we don't really have this kind of space, especially this building is a high-rise. So you have to sacrifice the space, cut out this void area and provide it as a common area for the student. So it's really amazing how he can actually convince the client by having this sort of idea.